Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Statements by Rainbow. I'm Rainbow. So today's topic is accountability. Now, before I get into that, it's October, and I just want to recognize all the awareness that's in October. We have breast cancer awareness. We also have the LGBTQ plus history awareness, as well as Down syndrome, domestic violence, ADHD, and mental health awareness, as well as national disability employment awareness, health literacy awareness, pregnancy and infant loss awareness month. So all those that suffer with those, and I know there's quite a bit within my family that, shout out to you. We do recognize you. Or shall I say, I recognize you. I did my breast cancer awareness nails the other week or whatever, which I've been digging in the yard, so I got little rhinestones missing. But anyway, accountability. So it's something that's talked about but not talked about, right? Um, it's coming up quite often nowadays. Now the thing is, how many people taking accountability? The definition of accountability is the acceptance of responsibility for one's actions, decisions, commitments, along with the obligations to be answerable for the resulting consequences. It involves being reliable, taking ownership, and willingness to admit mistakes, and it applies to individuals, organizations, and even public officials. Often viewed negatively when associated with failures, true accountability is broader and more positive, fostering trust, teamwork, and leading to better outcomes. For myself, we're going to talk about me having to take accountability in my own life. So when marriage will be the first thing that I will have to take accountability for. Examples would be maybe I forgot to pay a bill, and instead of me deflecting and saying, "Well, babe, you ain't tell me the bill was due," or something like that, me taking accountability. You know what? I didn't pay the bill. Work related, taking accountability that if I'm late, it might be 5 minutes that I was late to work, but it's been times where I've had to say, you know what, if you're going, and if you know me, you know, I'm honest. I'm upfront, straightforward. I ain't cutting no corners. I take accountability for when I do stuff. But anyway, so it's been times that I've been late to work, and it's just like, you know what? I was late, regardless of what the situation was, why I was late, whether it was emergency. I was late. And as my supervisor, you have to do what you have to do. Taking accountability as a parent. A lot of the times, you know, being grown, you just think, oh, I know what's best. It's been some times where, I had to take accountability with my children and say, you know what? I was having a bad day. I didn't mean to yell at you or be snappy or something like that. Within my relationships, friendships, and stuff like that, sometimes I gotta take accountability that, hey, you know what? I'm not being the best friend or the good cousin at this moment, even though I might got a lot going on. But you know what? I haven't reached out to you. I haven't checked on you, or we haven't been spending as much time together. And believe me, especially when I first got with my wife, I definitely had to take accountability with quite a few folks or whatever like that, because when people was used to me showing up and getting in a new relationship, and my wife cute, that I won't spending as much time, I won't doing certain things. So I had to take accountability for that. And I still do, because I be slacking. If any of my friends or family members are looking, I know I be slacking. I have slacked. That's on me. I'm going to take my ownership of my part. Okay? Now, I want to get into parents taking accountability. The first thing, you have so many fathers. You have some moms too. I ain't cutting nobody no slack. That you have a lot of parents that's not in their children's lives, and they give excuses. Well, hey, they done moved on into a new relationship, and they don't know how to juggle their new relationship and their child, or maybe the other parent is a little difficult, so they just choose to back away. Even as parents, of course, me looking at and doing so many different cases where accountability isn't taken, when seeing a lot of these abuse cases where even though the parent might not been the abuser but known what was going on, you have men and women touching the kids and different stuff like that. And as a parent, you have to take accountability, as in sometimes you don't know this person well enough and you're just letting them around your kids, or even the fact that you knew what they was capable of and you brushed it off. You got to take accountability. I mean, you're the adult and you're responsible for your children, whether they're 1 month, 5 years old, 13, 17. They're your child. So you have to take accountability on certain things where you might haven't. And just because you're the adult doesn't mean that you're always perfect. Another part of that parent accountability is choosing the wrong parent, the co-parent, whether they're there or not there, and they raggedy. You as a parent have to take accountability. Yeah. Biologically, I have 2 children, and then I have my extra 2. One of those, I got to take accountability. I seen certain signs and I ignored those signs. So I have to take accountability that I chose the wrong joker to have a child by. Another part of accountability is the workplace. We'll say fast food or janitorial, right? Of course, fast food, you giving out extra nuggets at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, or you giving some extra drinks or something like that. You got to take accountability that you were stealing, regardless of how you want to look at it. And then janitorial, you be taking a little cleaning products home, little tissue, so they got plenty of money, and they could get some more tissue. You have to hold yourself or whoever doing the stealing accountable, right? And like I said about the lateness, regardless of what it is, you were late. And there's some things that's unforeseen that you have no control of, right? That you're still late, right? Yeah. Oh, another one. Most jobs nowadays have the rule of not being on your phone. Most of y'all on that phone, right? Whether you might be looking at this video right now and you at work and you supposed to be doing some work and you get caught. You got to take accountability that you weren't supposed to be on that phone. I know even for my personal self that I got certain issues that be going on within my home. My wife health, my children health, that I might gotta answer this call, right? And you get caught. And you would think, now they should be understanding, right? You still got to face the fact, boo. You was on that phone. Whether you was looking at YouTube or answering their important phone call, right? Alright. Changing on. Now, we're going to still be within the job. But I was talking about you. So now we're going to talk about the employer. The employer mess up on your check. You looking like, I know. You like, that don't my up my money. You like, I ain't going to work. I ain't going to work until you fix my money. And the employer, I don't know what happened. It won't me, and they might put it off on somebody else because they don't want to take accountability that they mess up your check, right? Or another one, they messed up your schedule. You know, you used to working Sunday through Thursday. Somehow this week they didn't put you through Monday through Thursday. And you like, my day's short. And we was like, huh? You sure? You might want to look back at it. And you look back at it, and that ain't still, it said what you thought it said. They got to take accountability. Another accountability thing, dealing with relationships or marriages. The first most known one, cheating. Everybody got their own thought process of what's cheating to them or within their relationship or marriage, right? But say, like I said, every relationship is different. So one person might be keep liking other people's videos and pictures and different stuff and in the DMs, and that person might say, well, I ain't did to do with them. I was just liking stuff and sending a little message. It was innocent. But that other person was like, it seemed like you were trying to cheat. That other person has to take accountability that what they were doing, Yeah, I better stay out them people with DMs. Another part of the relationship or marriage is maybe a person not taking accountability for being disrespectful. And we're not talking about the cheating part. We just talked about that. But just being disrespectful far as being rude and nasty to their mate. And you may just seem like, oh, this is just how I am. And the person just like, you're not going to be talking to me like this. Like, what's wrong with you? You got to take accountability. Another part of the relationship sometimes, as far as accountability, is maybe one person not carrying a load. And, mishaps happen. I understand that. But you've been sitting on the couch for 3 years. Right? You ain't clean. You ain't cook. You ain't did some car work, yard work. You ain't, and you ain't contributing. You got to take accountability for that. That you just couch potatoes. You can't be saying, oh, well, I was depressed for 3 years and da 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 da. Or, babe, you got it. We doing good. We all right. You got to take accountability. Like, boo, why you been on that couch for 3 years? Why you been on that couch? Playing that game. Hanging out with your girls or your boys. But you ain't been doing what you supposed to do. We're going to talk about friendships and accountability. So, you got friends out here, like I told you before. They don't be reaching out. Then you got them other friends that be gossiping, right? So you done told your friend that your boo, they ain't no good. They been sitting on that couch for 3 years. And then they done told their other friend, Susie. You don't even talk to Susie. How Susie know your information? Cause friend been gossiping. You got to take, and that's a lot of the stuff nowadays, gossiping about, certain things. And it's just gossiping. It ain't even trying to help the other person's situation or nothing like that. It just, you want to run your lips. Public officials, we're going to talk about them taking accountability. Y'all see what's going on in the world, right? And y'all know who in office. So, healthcare. Police officers, doctors, they slacking. The laws and different things, they slacking. And within this past 2 months, the things I've been dealing with, I have learned how much they are slacking. That is crazy that people that you're thinking you're going to get help, I've been telling these people for the past 2 months, oh, y'all dropping the ball. Everybody dropping the ball. I done called this one. I done went to this one. Everybody dropping the ball. Nobody want to take accountability. Of course, they put it on the next person. Oh, well, so-and-so, they should have did this. Well, go back to so-and-so because I don't know why they didn't do this. Now, what is the reason we do not hold people accountable? A lot of times I think we're scared of the outcome or how things is going to go when you confront that person about accountability. Sometimes trying to hold a person accountable, you don't know what steps to take to hold them accountable, so you just don't do nothing at all. Sometimes just your upbringing and stuff, you don't have enough awareness to know that what that person is doing, or just, certain things about yourself that you just don't realize that the person, what they're doing is wrong, to be able to even hold them accountable. Now, what's the reasons people don't like taking accountability? Fear of judgment. They feel, hey, I'm at this certain age, I know what I'm doing, or I don't want to feel like I'm slow, or maybe they feel like a failure, or even scared of the consequences of taking accountability. Sometimes not taking accountability is because of self-image, ego, or pride. You better get out that pride. Also, there's feelings of shame or inadequacy, certain cognitive bias like narcissism or perfectionist. And we got one of them perfectionists in our home. Also, lack of self-awareness. Of course, the cultural influences or just trauma experiences that they face in their upbringing. And sometimes they even learn habit. Why you should take accountability. Your relationships would be stronger. People would trust you more and be more open with you. Also, your personal growth, and you will have self-mastery. So, kind of try to do this real quick, right? I did. Make sure you take accountability, but also make sure you hold people accountable. All right. Thank you for watching.